Good morning, my name is Arran Hunt, I'm a partner here at Stace Hammond and I head up the Migration Partners team. It is Thursday the 5th of November 2020 and the world is watching the results of the US election. However, there was some other news that came out yesterday which may have been overlooked by many. It was an article from News Hub, it's a media here in New Zealand, looking at the government manifesto and what it plans for immigration. Now we've linked to it in the description so you can read it for yourself. We've also linked to another article from Radio New Zealand, came out yesterday as well on the same topic. But we thought it was worth bringing to your attention and just noting a few points that the articles raise. Now, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has announced that Kris Faafoi will retain his position as the Minister of Immigration, which we see as a good thing. We think he's done a pretty good job in the few months that he was in the position before the election. Now, with Labour does not require a coalition partner. They now run the country on their own. First time since the election system changed in '96 that's taken place. And it means that they'll be able to follow their manifesto more closely than they may have been able to had they had coalition partners, as they did last election with the Greens and New Zealand First. Of most note from the article, and actually both articles mention this very early on in the article, was the intention that 1 in 10 managed isolation places was to go to overseas workers. Now, if you've seen our previous videos, you will know that the limit placed on immigration by managed isolation, or MIQ as we call it, means that we can only let in about 3,000 people a week into the country. Now these spots are taken up mostly by citizens and residents returning to New Zealand. They have now imposed a requirement for pre-registration for MIQ, which is meaning that MIQ can be utilised more efficiently, but places have filled up fast. As of this morning, the first available spot, if you were to register for MIQ today, is the 24th of December, which is 50 days away. So a push to allow for 1 in 10 places to go to overseas workers would mean about 300 workers a week would be able to gain entry. Now, of course, as we said, this is from the Labour manifesto. These are not things that are going into place right now, but these are the intentions of the government prior to the election that they can now hopefully put into place at some point in the future. Now, for those looking at the parent category and the extremely high income requirements that were to be required when they relaunched the category, of course that launch was delayed. Labour is looking at reducing the income threshold requirements and reducing the barriers to entry. Great for you, for those of you who are looking to bring your parents to come retire in New Zealand so you can look after them. Now, for partnerships, Labour wants to ensure that the partnership visa rules are up to date, that they're culturally appropriate and they represent international best practice. There has been a lot of commentary as to the requirements to have lived together which don't quite fit into certain cultures and certain religions, so this would hopefully make a change to that. We do know that the culturally arranged marriages are coming through. That is very difficult to get, but Labour are looking from their manifesto are looking at reviewing that and making them more, their words, culturally appropriate. Now, for now, these are just the intentions of the party as noted in their manifesto. What we want to see now is movement on them. Now, these intentions, and especially a reduction in the parent category threshold, will seem to indicate that Labour's coalition partners in the last government were perhaps less immigration friendly than Labour is. Now that Labour is on its own now, it should hopefully be able to put these policies into place. However, with MIQ fully booked almost 2 months in advance, we may have to wait a little while before we start seeing the outcome of these changes coming through or even being announced. With MIQ being so fully booked, Labour may delay any announcement on these policies coming into place until maybe perhaps the demand comes down a little bit, but we'll see what they're going to do. I think that 1 in 10 worker one is an important one for people coming back into the country to work. Now, for those looking at skilled migrant residency visas applications, we have a session with Immigration New Zealand in a couple of weeks about skilled migrants. We don't know if this is an indication that changes are going to take place, but with no draws due until at least April 2021, it would be the perfect time for Immigration New Zealand to make changes. We will let you know any changes when they are announced, anything we hear during that meeting. And that is it for today, a short, quick video, just a quick update. As I've said, this is purely just our reading the news as to what's been going around the news yesterday based on the Labour manifesto. They haven't announced any changes yet, but if they do follow their manifesto, then things could be improving for those offshore, for those who want to bring their parents in, and for those who want to bring their partners in. That's it for today. Kia kaha, stay safe, and we'll be back soon.